Who's your doctor?
Well, there's like 4 of them at the Genesis Women's Center,
Okay.
so I need one of
Have
them,
you
I
seen
guess.
Ben yet?
No.
Okay.
Is he a good one?
The ultrasound technologist.
Oh,
Ben.
no.
Okay.
No.
There's our baby. Hey, baby.
No.
That's your little person moving.
Honey, can you move your arm?
Yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, sweetie. Have you heard baby's heartbeat yet?
Yeah.
Perfect. Heart rate is good at 154 beats a minute. Wonderful. So the first measurement I take is what's called the biparietal diameter. It's measuring from one side of the little person's head to the other. You may have lucked out. You may be a little bit farther along than you thought you were. Is that a possibility?
Oh, yeah.
Were you certain about your due date? I mean, were you certain about your last period?
My periods are very irregular, so.
Okay. And if you have irregular periods, you can definitely have irregular ovulations.
Yeah. They thought that I had PCOS, so I probably had like a spontaneous ovulation.
You probably do. Yeah. So what I'm doing is I am measuring baby to make certain of how far along I think you are.
And just one, right?
That is just one. Have you heard the story about Genesis and me?
No.
Okay. The reason, that's why I asked. I thought you had. They had sent a young lady to me, and she came for gender, and she had an ultrasound at their office, and I started scanning her, and I immediately stopped and I said, "Did somebody talk to you about the possibility of multiples?"
Oh my God.
And she said, "No, they scanned me and said I just have one."
Yeah.
You have two. Would you like me to tell you the gender of both? It just so happens they were identical twins, so they shared the same sex. So I'm not really certain how they missed that, but well, you are far enough along for me to call.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So how was it 14 weeks and what?
I'm going to tell you exactly here in just a second. It says 13 weeks, 6 days. You're actually about 14 weeks.
Okay.
Again. Now if I can get a little person to uncross
You want me
his
to
or her
cough?
legs.
Was it a girl?
Nope.
Penis?
There's a boy. He's a boy baby. But I'm saying your due date is the 19th.
Okay.
Now, when Ben does your actual ultrasound over at the office, he's going to catch that. They're not going to go by an ultrasound that I do here,
Right.
but nor should they.
Yeah.
It has to be done at their office because it has to be read by a doctor, and they'll be talking to you about changing it. There he is.
You're in the way. Thank you. Aww.
That's your baby. This is what is referred to as 4D.
Okay. And what's on his chest? Is that the umbilical cord? Or?
Yeah. See, exactly the way he's supposed to look right now. That's his little hand. It keeps coming up there. Alright, so I'm going to freeze that. I am going to go ahead and take that little clip. It has an AVI file. To be honest with you, I don't take a whole lot of these at this point, and the reason is it's pretty unremarkable. I mean, they don't do a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
And they still look a little odd at this point, but I still want you to have where you can see them kind of moving around a little bit. I mean, it's definitely a baby. It's burning on the disc, so that'll be a little AVI file. It's always nice to hear that you're a little bit further along. You get a little bit more behind you.
Yeah.
14 weeks. But with PCOS, obviously what that whole condition is it's you know, the ovaries don't really work the way they're designed to work, and ovulation can be non-existent or it can be sporadic. And obviously, if you truthfully have PCOS, you have sporadic ovulation, so you certainly can't count it as if it's a 13 that it happens on the 13th day. Even in textbook situations, ovulation occurs on that 13th day in about 25% of the population, but it's the only thing that the entire OB community worldwide is agreeable on, is that we'll count by 13th day until proven otherwise. That way tests are done at the right time and stuff during your. That's why they're a little hesitant to start jockeying around with due dates, because if you do that, you can do tests too early, too late, too close together, too far apart. It just kind of throws in a little monkey wrench that doesn't really need to be in there. So it's burning on the disc for you. Also, another reason I'll take APIs is it takes forever to burn. It's like sitting here watching a popcorn. You're still recording that day?
So I've been thinking that I've been feeling movement. Is that possible?
It's possible.
Like little twitches?
I would never say that it's not possible.
Yeah.
At 14 weeks, your little person is about that big, with little legs about that big, and he's going to weigh about between 3 and 4 ounces. You may. That is early, but you may. I never say it's not. So, what a lot of times people assume is that baby's going to give them a kick.
Yeah, it's like little flutters, or.
And I call them butterfly kisses. It's a little bloop.
Yeah.
Bloop, 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 you know, and then it's kind of over. But
well, it's mostly when I'm like scrunched up. I feel it. Like when I'm laying down, I can't really tell anything, but like. And it's not all the time or anything. It's like every once in a while, I'll get like a little. It just feels like a twitch or something.
So that little person right there is the culprit for all of your yucky feelings for 3 months. Don't you wonder how something that small can make you feel that pretty? It'll be done burning here just.
Okay.
So have you guys thought of names?
Yes. If it was a boy, we was gonna name him Oliver Martin.
I love Oliver.
Aww.
I love Oliver.
Well, he's British, so it was just perfect.
I love the name Oliver.
Baby's heartbeat.
So how sure are you that it's a boy?
I'm sure. I'll put it to you this way. I've done it for 31 years. I'm pretty sure. I've gotten, not pat myself on the back, I've gotten pretty good at it at this point.
And how much amniotic fluid is in there?
You have the appropriate amount. Here, there it is again. This is his little hiney. That's a leg going up that way. That's a leg going up that way. I'll get you a better shot of that if he'll uncross his legs.
Do you want me to try coughing?
No, that doesn't usually.
No.
I mean, you can try. Certainly you can.
Maybe make wiggle or something. Sorry, I just coughed all over you.
You cough all over me. That's all right. Do you see it sticking out there, though? Right here. Right here.
Where? Oh, okay. Come on, little Oliver.
Amniotic fluid, years ago, it used to be what was still right here. Was an eyeball call. It was an eyeball determination, meaning we didn't really measure it. Now it is absolutely 100%, no doubt about it.
Okay.
But in the recent years, we began to actually quantify it or measure it. And once we started doing that, we gave it a really loose range, and the range is such a big range because you're dealing with a moving structure inside a moving structure, and so pockets of fluid get moved around.
Okay.
So just by eyeball calling it, I can tell you he's got the appropriate amount. Okay, listen here, little man.
Cooperate with mommy and daddy. And the nice lady.
That picture right there is the reason that my store is named exactly what it's named. For 31 years, I've given that picture, and every time I get that picture, I've always said, well, hello, little one. So there's my picture.
And as far as like does it look healthy? Does it...
Everything looks exactly the way it's supposed to.
Okay.
Again, I'm not going to imply that it's diagnostic, but I will tell you that if I felt the need to, if I saw something concerning, I would have no problem picking up the phone and calling your doctor.
Okay.
I'm not calling your doctor.
Okay.
I'll put it to you that way. There's the shot. You see the legs going up, leg going up. Baby's a boy. That's not a penal bump. That's a penis.
That's the boy.
That's a penis.
Aww.
Right there. He really doesn't have any problem showing that off. Okay, so doing a little sweep through him. So this right here is one arm. As you see, kind of up. He's got that hand up. You get to his chest. There's his little part. You see his little left leg. It's right there. Then you sweep through. That's all cord.
Okay.
Get over to his right side. There's his right arm. His hands up in front of his face, and his right leg. His little feet are way down here. Yeah, they're way down there. But he looks absolutely perfect. Got all of his parts. Perfect baby. All right, so again, I am going to tell you that I think you're a week further along.
Okay.
I actually think you're a little bit more than a week, but when I averaged everything out, it came out right at 8 days.
Okay.
So I actually think you're a little bit more than 8 days, but I'll leave it with 8 days.
Okay.
He weighs 3 ounces. He would fit in his entirety in your hand.
Yeah.
So his heart rate is good. There you go, Dad. His heart rate
Thank
is good
you.
at 154 beats a minute. If you hear nothing else today, I want you to hear that he's got 154 beats a minute with a sinus rhythm.
That's good.
That's exactly what we want.
Aww.
All right, so So, the reason your baby plots at the top of this growth graph is because you are plotting basically a 14.5-week baby on a 12.5-week baby graph.
Okay.
If you put him on an age-appropriate graph, he'd be right in the middle.
Okay.
So, that right there is more indicative that he's further along. So, the one thing I'm going to do for you, and something that we do for every person, is every session you do with me, regardless of what it is, I give you a disc. I give you the disc with all of your images on there. It will be, they're not copyright protected either, so if you have family that you'd like to email pictures to, you know, over in England or whatever, you're welcome to do that. You can print, burn, Photoshop, upload, print, whatever. But understand this, on your disc is not only the JPEGs or the still pictures, there's that little AVI clip.
Okay.
The AVI clip is not saved to my hard drive, so the only copy of it is on that disc.
Okay.
So be very careful, that's all I'm saying. If you want
Yeah.
to print pictures from that disc, make sure you have it backed up somewhere. So, I'm not a computer savvy person,